All right, so I want to say hello to everybody and welcome. We just initiated and introduced this gallery on our website in December. Oh, let me get rid of that. So this is our third show in the gallery. We're going to try to change it every month, but it is the first jewelry exhibit, and it was a bit of an experiment to see how the jewelry would look actually framed like a piece of art on the wall. And luckily this program will allow us to get very, very close and zoom in on the pieces. So in that respect, it's fabulous. And Craig will just interject with this and that comment about the process or about the particular beads, because there are some very special beads. I'm Marie, if you don't know me. I'm one of the founders and the president of Arts and the Credit. And it's Arts and the Credit that's hosting this event, and that's hosting the gallery on our site. And we're a nonprofit, and it's an organization set up to promote the artists, to set up opportunities for them to show and sell their work. And of course, the last year plus now, that's not working because we usually have live events. Two in the local hotel, the Waterside Inn. So we found this software, and it's allowing us to do that. So we can still promote the artists and help them show their work. And it's working well. We have artists booked in for the whole year till next December, actually. It's booked in. Most of them are solo shows. The very first one that launched the gallery was a group show, and we're planning on one other group show, but most of them are solo shows, and the artists seem to be enjoying the opportunity to show their work here. So we're thrilled about that. And as I said, as we move through the gallery, Craig will comment, and I'll be asking him questions, and he'll comment on the work. So if you want anything you see, then you might want to make a note along the way. So I'm going to ask you to turn off your videos just as we tour, because it seems to help sharpen the images. And then when we're finished the tour, we'll all put them back on. So I'm going to get the gallery up and ready for us. There we are. Okie dokie. So I wanted to bring up the website initially so you could see where to get to the gallery. And the gallery is right here, the blue highlighted tab. And go to that, click on that tab, and it'll bring up the gallery. And we'll work our way through. We're calling this Bedazzled because you are going to be dazzled. And a little bit about Craig. He's been designing one-of-a-kind pieces for over 12 years. And he uses Swarovski elements, pearls, seed beads. Seed beads are very tiny, tiny, tiny. And everything is original. Everything is one of a kind. Enter the gallery. You'll see here that there's a bit of explanation about how you can move around the gallery. You can use a mouse, you can use the arrow keys, or you can also use letter keys, W and Z for up and down, and A and S for sideway movements. It just depends what you're most comfortable doing. I'm lucky enough, I have a touch screen, so I just use that. And this is a drop down menu. And if you forget anything, it's all here. Let's get rid of those people. And this is where we'll start. This is a bit of a overview of a couple of the walls. There are 5 walls in the gallery. If you click on a particular piece, it brings it right up for you so you can see it closer. At the top, you'll see the name of the piece. There's a drop-down menu there. It gives you all the details about the piece, and you'll find all the info there. You'll find the cost there. You'll find down in the one corner in the right-hand side, you'll find an inquire button. The inquire button takes you to a page where you see the piece you're interested in, and you see a template where you can send a message directly to Craig. And here, where it says media, which is right beside, you can go directly to Craig's site. So if there's something you want to see more of, it's all there. It's easy to get to. So did you want to, I know you wanted to talk about this particular piece and the clasp on it.
Sure. So this is a piece of jewelry that I created when fringing first came out. If you can scroll towards the bottom of it, Maria. This is all freshwater pearls on the fringe. Can you scroll up? There we go. And a few Swarovski crystals in it. But the way this piece is worn is the most interesting. It has the clasp in the front as a feature component. So if you can zoom back in on the clasp, Maria, it's all the beadwork. And instead of the clasp being at the back of the wearer, it's just asymmetrical on the front. And it gives a bit of architectural detail to the piece. It's all made out of seed beads, delicate seed beads, the lariat, the strap, the fringe, and those of us who are in the beading community who have made toggle clasps. It's a toggle clasp. And as I said, it turned out so beautifully, accented with the pearls. I thought it would look better in the front than being hidden behind the collar of the wearer.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's in warm shades of bronze, and earth tones are the pearls.
And here we have All Irish is the name of this piece.
Again, I like to bezel, and bezel is called when the beadwork is surrounding any component. In here, it is the 5 Swarovski crystals in the necklace and the 2 complementary earrings. And bezeling is taking seed beads and delicate beads of graduating in mixed sizes so that it would surround the component and then eventually encase it front and back so it is secure. If you can see me on your monitors, that's the front of the piece. And here's the back of it. Whereas on the 2 Rivolis, it's just bezeled a bit. But on the triangular piece on the bottom, I have completely done it in 3 different colors of beadwork. So the wearer is protected, it's not sharp, and also the crystals protect it from wear and tear. The next strap is a different type of stitch, but using the same components and colors that is in the necklace. And it gives a great supple, soft feel. And I called it the Irish because it's in shades of green.
Yeah.
Very Irish.
Yeah, yeah. And the cording is completely round. Is that difficult?
Not necessarily. It's called, oh, good God, Alzheimer's is kicking in so quickly. My beading buddies are probably shaking their head at me. It's a netting of a sort, and it is round. and it's
Uh-huh.
very soft. It's just so supple. It feels like cloth and fabric.
Wow, it's amazing. This is an amazing, I don't know what you call it. It's a stone. It's not stone.
Yeah, it's red jasper,
Okay.
and it's from Calgary, so it is a stone in the central piece.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It was funny. It sat on my bench for a long time, hanging vertically. And then one day I leaned over it sideways and it stuck out like a landscape.
Oh yeah, definitely looks like a landscape.
I decided to hang it that way instead.
Wow. This is a very interesting piece. Very interesting brooch. I was amazed how that is. The orange piece is held there just by the tension of what you've wrapped, how you've wrapped it with beads.
That's the beauty of bezeling. It will take an item and it will securely anchor it.
Yeah,
Sometimes you need to put backing on it and foundation and secure it further. But with this piece, it was just the tension was able to grasp it. And then I put a piece of ultra suede at the clasp to hold the pin. This piece I'm particularly proud of. When I was at a show at the International Center, a magazine approached me and asked if I would consider doing a class. So an editorial, excuse me. So this is a published piece in a magazine called A Needle Pulling Thread.
oh yeah,
And it was done step by step. So people could learn how to bezel stones and pieces of aggregate of their choice. Because each piece of stone is so unique, no one would be able to find that again, probably, unless they had it made. But
right.
then the instructions incorporated how to include the Swarovski crystal, the big off to the side, the three smaller Swarovski crystals, and then explain the step-by-step beadwork involved. So people, if they subscribed or purchased the magazine, they could make their own.
Well, maybe. Beaters, I guess, could do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, these are so delicate and pretty.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So these are, it's part of my New Springs collection that I started, and it is called 7 days at the beach. The bracelet's coming up, and it's 5 days at the beach, but
Mhm.
the earrings and the bracelet are to sort of simulate if you're at the beach walking through the sand. The lines of the cup chain, which is that curved line, it's Swarovski crystal.
Mhm.
Above is the water line, and below is what you might find in the water. And they're 1 inch square, very lightweight. I have backed them with a piece of leather. I find leather patina is better than ultra suede when it's against skin. Ladies wear lotion, oil, and whatnot, and the leather just absorbs and doesn't stain where ultra suede would stain. But this is the earring, and as I said, it's very nice, extremely light and delicate. Whoops, stop wiggling it. And it's all beadwork, bead embroidery, it's called, and it's only an inch square with a little Swarovski crystal of a opal sand color set down below.
Oh, nice.
Turquoise earrings. It's
Turquoise,
sort of,
yeah.
I had a Navajo inspiration at the time. So they're turquoise and sand colors and coppers. Very simple, but beautiful.
And how are they backed?
Those are backed also in a beige leather.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Ah, now there must be a story here.
So I was requested to do a piece for a magazine shoot. A very dear friend of mine was doing the headdresses, and the dress was not the feature in this shoot. However, I asked for a few photos and they were to be considered for a magazine cover. But this is one of my bridal pieces of my
Gorgeous.
more elaborate styles. It's all freshwater pearls. The brooch just above her wrist is a repurposed, or what people often refer to now as upcycled brooch that was antiqued. I found it in an antique store. So the brooch is about 1930s, early 40s.
Wow.
And I worked it into the piece. On the opposite side is a contemporary stone, or finding it's called, with a lot of Swarovski crystals on a dome. Then the freshwater pearls up one side, the square pearls up the other. And then down the middle in front are about 5 strands of freshwater pearls, about 7 to 10 millimeters each. And then the bracelet complements the left side of her necklace.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, it's gorgeous.
Thank you.
Gorgeous. Now coming up is, well, there are several bracelets, but this is the bracelet that matches up with the earrings that you were showing us, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's white on white. Not too. So the necklace is called, the bracelet's called 5 Days at the Beach.
Yeah.
1-inch squares, and it's kind of the same theme. The cup chain separates what you find below the surf and above the surf. In the middle is the white hot sun. You have shells that you find above and below, pearls that you find below, and at the top of the picture is a Swarovski crystal of opal sand. And I've done a fringe treatment around it to make it sort of look like a sea urchin. It's soft, it's supple, it does have some movement to it. And since I couldn't find suitable hinges, I just made loops of beads to use as a hinge between the panels. Again, on this, they're all packed in leather. So it's soft, lightweight, and it really would wear well and drape extremely nicely.
Yeah, it's so pretty. Now, is that a set or not a set necessarily, the bracelet and the earrings?
It can be a set.
Okay.
It does not have to be. What's
Okay.
not in the collection, but is also made, is just a pair of shells, if you didn't want to be too matchy-pooey, that I picked up on the beaches of Sarasota. And it's just a nice clamshell, same size as the square, backed in leather and bezeled, and hanging on gold-plated earring frames. Again, it's just a different variation. Some people like their bracelets and earrings to match identically. Some do not. They like it to have a different feel and vibe to it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Your tennis bracelets.
These are hugely popular. They're cup chain bracelets that I bezel with seed beads, size 15, which are incredibly small, and they have great fluid and weight to it. The top one is 3 rows of Swarovski cup chains that I have bezeled, or the bottom one is 2 rows of Swarovski pearls, 4 millimeter white, that are also just bezeled.
Wow.
Each
Wow.
of them might have crystal bicones down the middle showing the seams, or joining the seams, excuse me.
Mm-hmm. Oh, this is lovely.
Fire polished beads
Yeah.
that are woven together. And then the button, or the clasp, is a Swarovski button that, again, as you can see, I've bezeled, and it gives it a bit of a focal point.
Mm. I mean, you can wear that anywhere,
Yeah.
day or night.
It's a
Yeah.
little on the larger size. It's about 1.5 inches in width, but it has great weight and feel to it.
Yeah. Oh, yes. This is something else.
So I've named this Starry, Starry Night. 2 years ago or 3, I'm sorry, I've lost track of time with COVID, we had 3 special full moons, and I wanted to commemorate it somehow. So I've named the bracelet Starry, Starry Night. The 3 tabs in the middle are hematite, and some hematite stars are throughout the bracelet. Instead of giving it a very rough, square shape, I gave it a very organic, uneven, flowing shape. And I was struggling for a long time after I put the 3 cabochons down, what to do in the middle. So it doesn't show quite too well there. But here, for a beater, it would show. I have used #1 bugle beads, and I have embezzled or embroidered the entire bracelet.
Yes, solid.
It's very, it gives me a very much vibe of the 20s and 30s when bugle beads were worn or used a lot in jewelry and clothing.
Hmm.
And to me, one of my friends said it reminded her of a Picasso painting, all the short brush strokes and so forth.
Right, right. And how is it backed, Craig?
It is backed with a piece of silver leather, kind of shiny. Let's see if I can get it. And again, a piece of silver leather. So it will wear well and feels great against the skin. And it just has a very simple Swarovski button clasp and a loop.
Oh yeah, I see the button. Right. No, it's lovely. It's just amazing. I can't imagine how long that took. It's just,
There's probably close to 150 hours in here.
oh, it's gotta be. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, pretty. Yeah.
Again, just Swarovski crystals that I've bezeled. This bracelet's reversible. You're looking at one
Oh,
side in the
right.
foreground where there's more silver and blue, and the reverse side, which is in the back of the photograph, is more monochromatic, just black and silver.
Ooh, wow. Wow, wow. There's some very small bees in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very small.
So
So
this is also
pretty.
taking the Sabori silk, and this time I've let some of the backing show as it's called, I believe, Catching the Waves. And the Sabori silk is draped across the front of the leather cuff. So that is a leather, gray leather you're seeing. And then
Mhm.
there's 3 Swarovskis are embezzled and embroidered, and they're anchoring down the silk.
Wow. Is it difficult to sew into the leather?
If people follow me on Facebook after several hours of sewing through leather, I've had some pictures where my fingers are full of holes
Yeah,
and little
yeah.
pinpricks.
Wow.
It depends on the leather, the thickness, and what type of leather it is.
Uh-huh. Oh, this is gorgeous.
So these 9 pieces of Swarovski are all in silver shadow, lovely supple color, and I've used a soft silver color to showcase the necklace. It drapes
Wow.
beautifully, and it's a nice, just a little bit longer than a choker.
Right. And you did the cord. That's all beaded.
That's correct. Yeah, the cord again is a brick stitch, a tubular brick.
Oh, this is gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous.
Again, if it stays still long enough, I'll bezel it. So these are 2 teardrop Swarovski crystals. The lariat is made of Swarovski pearls and seed beads, and I've put it on a memory wire. I've seen it worn so many different ways at shows. Just before we shut down, I got it released, I think, Marie, at your last show.
Okay.
And it can wear symmetrically, asymmetrically, left,
I'm
asymmetrically.
sure you could. Yeah.
It kind of floats and moves on the neck, and
Yeah.
it's a great choker.
Now, you were telling me the other day about Japanese beads that you used. Is, oh,
So,
is that
I,
involved in this piece?
yeah, I'm a fan of the Miyuki seed beads. There are 2 bead manufacturers out. One's called Toho, and the other's called Miyuki. They are pretty much the same, except their sizes are slightly different as per the manufacturer. And since I started my career with Miyuki, I have pretty much stayed with them. I do have a few pieces with Toho, but when you're doing things that are sort of a mathematical or an equation where they have to be the same size so they fit appropriately, it
Mhm.
suits you best to stay with the one manufacturer.
Yeah, I
The
can see that. Oh, wow. Oh,
Yeah,
lace work. I don't know what you call the round bit that's all lacy looking, that technique, but it's lovely.
that's called netting. And
Okay.
it's all individual seed beads that are put through and it's formed the netting of the neck strap. And I've called this piece the Milky Way. It's all in white and silver. And it
Mm,
sort of reminds me of the Milky Way or falling stars and shooting stars. The necklace, the neck strap, I know I should be showing on white, but I don't think this would show up too well on white. The neck strap is all in individual seed beads and it's called netting. And it
okay.
just feels like cloth when you're
Mhm.
wearing it. It drapes and it's subtle and it has great weight. And on the back, I've just made the clasp very simple with the Swarovski crystal. I'm trying to get the light out. There we go. But then the front is 18, 19 Swarovski crystals.
Mhm.
And again, they're all bezeled individually and then joined to create this great V-neck drop.
Right, right. Is it hard to find what you want in the way of size and the beads and so on?
It didn't used to be. And as my fellow bead artists are chuckling, Swarovski is having a family dispute right now.
Oh dear.
And there is serious talk that they're dropping, if not have definitively decided to drop, the DIY Swarovski beads and crystals. So
Oh no.
there's a bit of a buying frenzy of everybody trying to get their stash or hoarding done. But
Yeah.
things like this 2 years ago, when I started to put the pieces together, would have been not a problem. 2 years from now, it could be quite a struggle to get that kind of a collection of
Wow. Wow.
fancy stones.
Ooh, this is different. Very different. Very, just a second. Let's interesting for sure.
The center part is called a
Yeah.
swirly spiral, and it is made up of 7 different sizes of beads to give it the depth so it waves in and out at you. And then to get the V point in the middle, I started the spiral one direction, stopped, and then turned around and started it the other. And
Wow.
then the layered is simple stringing of size 11 beads, 5 strands to complement it and give it a nice background.
Hmm. It's just so unusual. It's fabulous. I mean,
Think
it would you'd be noticed for sure
I
wearing
like things to
that.
be unique. That's why I say it's art you love to wear. It's not just jewelry. It's something that either reflects your personality or you love it for whatever reason.
Hmm. And we're back to the beginning again.
We are.
We are. Okay, we can all see one another again. You can turn on your videos. It's going to like magic in and out. And here we go. Now, do you want to get when you were showing and talking and I couldn't see you, were you in your little square or were you large?
I was within my little square on my monitor.
Okay. So
Uh,
do you want to be large?
I,
And
I can be, and I'll just show one or two more examples of what I am working on currently
okay,
for samples of, and one that I had done a couple of years ago. There we go.
there you
So
go.
this piece, what I'm about to show you, is just a variation that I will bezel just about anything. I did it for a competition and it was called, let's get the piece of paper. It's called Night Flight.
Oh, yes.
Look at this one.
I saw a
You
picture
used
of
it,
it.
I
Another
believe,
one?
Mary, once
Oh,
or
yeah.
twice for PR. So
I'm
this
trying to think.
this is a combination of bead embroidery, bezeling,
Can you hold it up higher, Craig? We can't see it. Perfect.
the
Yeah,
bezel.
that's good.
Let's go back. Bead embroidery, bezeling, and then embellishing. I've made the veil for it, and the neck strap is made of fire polished beads, and seed beads.
Wow.
So I've taken pretty much anything you can throw in a necklace and combined it. The skull is a wombat African skull that I picked up from one of my fellow vendors at a show. And it's called Night Flight because it's a bird and the feathers, and it's all in dark blacks and silvers and deep, deep blue jewel tones.
It reminds me of Venice.
Does it?
Wow.
You didn't say wombat, did you?
Yeah.
No, it's not a wombat.
Are you not an African wombat?
Oh, African? Maybe.
Yeah.
I knew a wombat from Australia would be huge.
Okay. I better double, triple check my notes, but I'm pretty
What
sure.
kind of wombat it is. Yeah. I don't know about you, but working in black is terribly difficult.
Yeah.
It's hard to keep track of what the heck you're doing when you're working with in black. Knitting.
Can't work at
weaving.
night either.
Yeah,
It's
you're working-
beautiful,
you're working with
really,
black
really
thread and a
beautiful.
black background, and on the back, I've used a little piece of leather that has a bit of a pattern to it.
Oh, yeah. Mhm.
So
That's nice,
I like
really, really nice.
for me, when I do my pieces of art, I like the back to be almost as pretty as the front if possible, and just as finished.
Sure.
And are those
Beautiful.
feathers?
Yep.
Oh,
It has movement to it.
so it'll tickle you.
Okay. I haven't personally worn it, so I don't know. So as I said, I like to bezel. I like to embellish beautiful things. Several years ago, Swarovski Crystal worked with Jacques Cousteau's daughter, who's escaped me, and they put out a collection. And one of my favorite colors is Bermuda blue. So they
Mhm.
created the crystal,
Mm.
Ooh.
three-dimensional
Oh,
with
it's
the hole,
beautiful.
and then I've done all the beadwork around it, and it has
Wow.
yet to grow up to be a pendant on a necklace.
Oh, that's
Wow.
stunning.
It's beautiful.
Beautiful.
You can bezel anything if you got the patience to count and work with it and know your materials and sizes.
Now they look like very tiny beads.
These are the Delica 11s, and I know someone's going to correct me. It takes
11 beads per inch.
It is 11. Thank you, Sue. It's 11 beads per inch. So it will tell you the size of the beads.
Okay.
So if you put it on your needle, you can get 11 beads on a row within an inch. That's how
Yeah.
beads are sized.
Okay.
And then on the back of it, to anchor it, you go one step smaller to 15s, which are 15 beads to the inch, to help secure it and anchor it. There's no glue here. It just depends. It's totally dependent on the tension of your thread.
Mm-hmm. What kind of thread do you use?
The greatest challenge of all beaders. I use what's called Fireline. It is a synthetic, woven, sealed thread that for me doesn't stretch, doesn't distort. When I let a necklace go to a customer, I know she won't be back in a couple of years saying, I can now see the thread in between the beads. So that's one of the advantages. Now, people swear by cotton and silk threads, and that is just as personal as Sean and other painters will say, I only use this paint, or I only use this canvas, or I only use this brush. And for me, I only use Fireline if I can get away with it.
Yeah.
Me too.
Well,
And then-
it sounds like it would be the strongest.
It is. It comes in weights. It's used also in the fishermen in the sporting world.
Oh,
And
okay.
it has weight as to how many pounds of torque. So
Yeah.
quite often I can pull the thread and break the bead before I break the thread. And then just to give two quick examples of sort of where my work's going, because we may be losing Swarovski, I'm starting to dabble with gemstones. So let's get my white background. This is a druzy, and it is a natural gemstone. And then I have bezeled around it
Uh-huh.
with beads and delica, backed it up with a piece of leather, and it will just be sort of a different focal bead instead of crystal. And then I've started the bail at the top where I will design a neck strap to go with it.
Wow.
Beautiful, really beautiful.
Really pretty.
Yeah.
It's
just
really
gorgeous.
Like
sparkles.
Lucy. Yeah.
Mm.
That one looks like it's a bronzy color one, right?
Actually, it's deep, deep plums.
Oh, wow.
What
Oh,
was the name
yeah.
of that stone again?
It's called the
Right.
bruise. So what happens when Mother Nature doesn't press it solidly to make it a marble slab, there are pockets of holes. And then when you cut a stone, you have this natural raw finish to the inside of it.
If you're lucky.
If you're
Gorgeous.
lucky.
Huh.
Beautiful.
And then the
Pretty.
last
Stunning.
to close the show, those who follow me on Facebook have seen this. I took a tiger's eye,
Ooh,
put a Swarovski crystal at the bottom,
right.
these different beads, and then again bezeled it up the side. As you can see, where is my camera?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can see.
Okay. And the tiger's eye stone
Beautiful.
and
Wow.
the
Beautiful.
crystal at the bottom.
Wow.
Back to,
Combination of stone and Swarovski's lovely.
thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Backed it with the leather again. And then, as I said, this is clearly a work in progress. I've yet to design the bail and
Right.
a neck strap. But this, I wanted to start playing with stones and crystals and other materials.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brilliant to go to the stones, Greg. Honest to God, Craig, it's
Thank you,
awesome.
Christine.
They're really, I mean, wow. Very
Mhm.
unique. I mean,
Very
people
unique.
own a piece. No question.
Beautiful.
I'm
Mhm.
coming your way, darling.
It's
Hang on.
like, which way, which one?
Oh, no,
you.
honestly, like it's what no one else could ever have it and one like it. So
Right.
that's what is really a beautiful feature. But you know,
Yes.
based on where Swarovski's going, I think you're in the right lane, my friend.
Yeah.
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 I gotta tap into Mother Nature and show what she's been giving us all these years.
And where do you find these pieces, these stones and?
I've been very lucky. I've been a vendor at the Ancaster Gem and Mineral Bead Show that happens once a year in Ancaster.
Oh, okay.
And there are 5 or 6 gemologists, and they have stones of every shape, color, texture, or origin that you can possibly think of.
Mhm.
And being there for 10 years, if I don't have anyone at my booth, I go shopping. And I have got quite a collection of very unique, like that tiger eye, that I'm
Yeah.
going to start bringing forward. And I see it being just as easily with pearls, or maybe another stone, or just embezzled with different beads of texture and color and shape to showcase the stone.
Now I must say before I forget about it, that you do commissions. You'll take commission work.
Yes, I have.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm very proud of my clients who have given me the confidence with an image, a vision, or a piece. Maybe it's from their mother's necklace. If the necklace has fallen apart, but the piece of it, they still want to do something with. Or I've dismantled their grandmother's pearls and redone them for something contemporary, something that's more current.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I absolutely will not shy away from a custom order of that nature.
Good. Well, good to know, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. And even if someone wants some piece of jewelry, family heirloom reworked, or that happens too.
pearls are precious, and ladies and gentlemen, you shouldn't let your pearls or your wife pearls age in the drawer. They need to be worn. They need to be against the skin. They need the natural air, body oils, so they live. And pearls don't have to look dated. They can be as contemporary as you want them to be.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, I want to thank you, Craig, for taking all this time to share your
Bravo.
your talent. Yeah, that was it was wonderful to find out all the details and the more about your process and your design,
Thank you.
how you go about it. Yeah, it just makes it more special, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Marie,
thank you.
I want to thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
You have done so much for Arts on the Credit, and for us artists, you need to be thanked as well.
Yeah.
And
Thank you, Marie.
Yes.
Thank you, Marie. Thank you so
thank
much.
you for your devotion and your efforts. And this night wouldn't have been possible without Arts on the Credit and your forethinking and your vision. So to you, my dear, I thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Glad. I mean, we're glad that that's the whole point of Arts and the Credit, right?
Yeah.
So we were so happy to find this way of going forward and still showing the work from the artists. Because what else are you going to do? I mean, it's going on and on and on and on. So
When will we
hopefully,
have a show.
yeah, yeah. So, I mean, the artists have picked up on it, so we'll be able to change it up every month and do something a little different. For coming. If you have,
Thank you.
is there anyone that wants to ask Sean? I'm sure he'll hang on for a couple of minutes, like 3 or
And
4.
Craig will too. Any questions?
Otherwise,
for
just
me?
enjoy the rest of your evening and stay safe.
Thank you. It was beautiful, Craig. Thank you.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Craig.
Good to see you.
Yeah.
Craig.
That was incredible. Thank you, Greg.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, beautiful work,
Thank you.
Craig.
Right.
Very
Congratulations.
beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you very much for coming out tonight.
Wish you luck, Craig.
Thanks, Sean. You too, buddy. Take care.
All the best.
Gorgeous work, Craig. Thank you for sharing those insights as well. I hope you do well.
Oh,
Jane,
hi,
thank you very
Jane.
much. Everybody, take care.